Sawete discipuli doleo mea priore pellicula sonetum non habet quad sum stotus sed nunc sum intelligens et hac or haeca pellicula habet sonetum. So fortasse tu sis in Italia et tu vis habere cafeam aut cibum latine dicimus amo. That's like I like, so it's just like indicative. Said subjunctive, like I might like, would be amem. Said Italiano or Itala tu non dices I like, you use the equivalent of this. So volo vele is to want or wish. Maybe you remember this one. Said Italiano habemus volere, and you can see how it kind of connects. They just add that re on there to make it match up with that re ending that we're so used to. So the infinitive at least looks normal. And then you want to do the subjunctive like version of that. So it's kind of like I might want, like I would want. And that would be like vorrei. So we say io vorrei. And then latine dicimus habere. So habeo, habere, said in Itala, habemus avere. And you're looking at that, you're like, what? How is that the same? But think about that H, right? Kind of disappears because it's a soft sound, right? And you see that a lot. The H just kind of goes away. And so you're just left with avere. But if you were to actually conjugate this verb, like in Latin we'd say habeo, habes, habet, habemus, habetis, habent, Italia, itale, doleo. I keep wanting to say like Italiano because that's how they say it. But Latin it would just be like Itale. So yeah, so you just do like ho. So yo ho. That's where the pirates get it from. Minime non sum pirata. Sum pirata. Lui out lei ha. And what do we notice here? All of these have what? That H, right? They all have the H that you thought was gone is actually still there. If you were to conjugate, you still say ho, or sometimes I'm told you don't pronounce the H, so it'd be like oh, yo, io, o. But I always pronounce the H and people understand me, so I don't know. And then that H is kind of gone and it gets weird over here. And you would say noi abbiamo. Uh-oh, I went off the edge there. Abbiamo. And then you would say voi, like y'all, avete. And then the H comes back when you say they, and you'd say like loro hanno. And this is something you see in a lot of Romance languages, this weird boot that shows up where you have like this regular form in the boot or irregular outside of the boot, or vice versa, depending on which one you view as regular or irregular. For me, it's regular to have the H because I'm thinking Latin, but for an Italian who's used to the A, they would probably say the H is irregular because avere is the verb, not habere, like I'm used to in Latin. Here there's no H, so they would maybe look at the ones in the boot as irregular. Anyway, so that's how you would start. So you would want to say, I would like something. You would say, dicas, io vorrei et aliquid, io vorrei un cafe. Oh, I forgot. What did I forget? Sum scrutum doleo. Io vorrei And then I forgot to put in the infinitive. Io vorrei avere un caffè. But you could put anything in there, right? You could say pizza, or una pizza, or I don't know what else people drink. I always get cafe and pizza. You could do a gelato, un gelato, and then you could, say, point the different sizes, right? And then you could do un, due, like the different numbers, because they usually have them priced like 1 or 2. But anyway, that's kind of how you would ask for something in Italy. So if you go, right, you just go up and you say, io vorrei avere un caffè, or you might want to talk about everybody, like the group you're with, like abbiamo, like we have, and then whatever it is. And so these are just really simple phrases that can get you a long way. Like, somebody's asking you something and you say, abbiamo, like train, like we have a train or something, and you just like, we have to go. And so, I don't know. They're really, really handy things that I know I used abbiamo when I was there, saying like we have, like kind of speaking for everybody, or the verb have. You could say io ho, like I have, like this, or I have that, depending on whatever situation you're in. But that's how you'd ask for something, and then we can expand on this with some different things. But hopefully this one has sound, and